Okay, Nikki, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Are we good? Can you guys hear? Oh, snakes. Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. Can you guys hear? Okay, all right, good. All right, woohoo. We can hear now. All right. Awesome. All right. And it looks like the chat is working. So yay for that. If I put something in the chat, are you guys able to find it? Maybe. So if not, don't worry about it. I'll get this to you guys after the training. So first and foremost, I would recommend that you download the workbook along with the accompanying symptom assessment, because that's going to help you identify what your roadblocks are. And I think that is super important as we move forward. And as always, what I would love for you guys, if you find value in this, take a screenshot of the slide or whatever and post about it. Talk about it on social media. That helps build a greater, stronger community in the Facebook group and or on Instagram. So if you guys can follow me on the Thriving Thyroid the Thriving Thyroid podcast too, but Thriving Thyroid on Instagram. All right, so here we go. Let's totally dive into this. Being a little stinker. Okay, so first and foremost, you guys need to understand that we are all genetically and metabolically different. You may have the same diagnosis as the other person. We all may have hypothyroidism, or we all may have Hashimoto's or whatever. But the reason that you are here where you're at is for your own unique experiences and opportunity. And so this is one of the most frustrating things for myself as a practitioner is we have to break away from that standard practice of care. The standard practice of care for thyroid is you go get tested, your labs come back abnormal. Usually they only test TSH and T4. And if those are out of range, then they're going to give you either a referral to an endocrinologist, or they're going to give you a prescription and tell you to come back in 6 months. And you're going to repeat the process over and over again. A majority of my clients have been on that hamster wheel for a long, long time. And they finally get to the point where they're like, I don't have more energy. I can't lose weight. My hair is still falling out. I still feel puffy and inflamed, and I've got insomnia and heavy periods and all of these things. And so this is why we have to break away from that standard practice of care. So today, not tonight, today we are going to we're going to be looking at things in a new way and a new light. And I just hope and pray that you guys have an open mind in this process so that you can glean as much information as possible from today. And one of the best ways to do that, I'm going to be a broken record here for a second. One of the best ways to do that is to interact with your chat. I'm going to be able to give you guys more feedback, more information when it comes to this. I cannot chat. I have to leave the webinar to comment or ask questions using this function. That's weird. Okay. If you guys, one day we'll figure out this chat thing. I will, just write down your questions. Maybe that's the best way. If you're on your phone, write on your note section, write on a piece of paper. If you're driving, just try to keep them in your head until you're in a safe place to write them down. Okay. So this has come, so what I'm going to be sharing today this is from over 6 years of professional training and experiences working specifically with women and hormonal issues and thyroid imbalances. Women and girls ranging from the age of 14 to 75 years old. And I would just ask yourself to consider thinking of things in a new way. So this is my lovely family. Before we dive in, I just want to give you guys a little bit of information about who I am and why I'm here and what I do. So I met my husband when I was 14 years old. I got married at 20, and we now have 4 beautiful girls together, and they have really become my reason why I do this, because I want to break those generational curses of hormonal imbalances and not letting them experience the same hormonal issues that I have struggled with pretty much since I can remember: the hormonal acne, the heavy cycles, the cramping, all of those uncomfortable things. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't know. It looks like you might be able to participate in the question and answer. So I will just keep an eye on the question and answer section of this. But I don't know, I wish we could have the chat, but we'll just use the question and answer section, and I will do my best to watch that and participate in that. So when my husband went back to school, we were married, we had our first daughter. He decided to go back to school to become a mechanical engineer. And at that time, my husband was going to school, my sister was going to school, and all these people who are really important in my life, I was watching them progress, and I wanted that. So after baby number 2 was born, I decided to go back to school, and my husband and I made an agreement, and that was that I would take a course that was interesting for me, and not necessarily something where I had to go get a 9 to 5 job, because my job was going to be in the home. And years later, God called me to teach this information to more people. I started working with people for free and eventually got burnt out with that. And it was taking too much time away from my family. So to gloss over a really long story, God really hasn't allowed me to stop working with the gifts and the talents and the knowledge that I have been acquiring over all of these many of years. And now I get to share them with you. So since graduating in 2016, actually, I think 2015, I have gone on to co-author the book, The Happy Healthy Brain, completed other courses as a functional nutrition practitioner, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I've studied herbal medicine and homeopathy and Bach flowers, auriculotherapy, all these wonderful things. And I've worked specifically online with women for over 3 years now. And I also run the Thriving Thyroid podcast, where I put out weekly content to help you learn more skills and strategies to help you overcome all of your hormonal issues. But one of the biggest things that I had to learn was that self-care wasn't selfish, that putting on my oxygen mask on first really allowed me to show up for my kids, my family in a better capacity. So from 2016 to 2019-ish, I went to several different doctors, PCP, endocrinologists, gastroenterologists, naturopathic doctors, trying to find answers for my symptoms. And only to be told things like, you're a mom, just sleep more, eat less and exercise more, go to sleep. You just have anxiety. Here's a pill. And I would leave each appointment in tears, because I knew that wasn't my normal. I knew that eating less and exercising more wasn't the answer. I was gluten-free, I was dairy-free, I was eating organic foods, I was growing a lot of my own food at the time. I was working with a personal trainer and working out at least 3 times a week. I raised my own chickens. I practiced meditation and took supplements and spent time outside and practiced stress management things. And I knew there was something bigger at play. I was applying everything that I had learned up until that point, only to realize in 2019, when I found an incredible mentor, I paid her tens of thousands of dollars, that I had to unlearn what I learned in school and relearn a completely different way of working with women and their hormones. Because you see, what I was learning in school was, and through the courses that I had taken, that information was geared towards men. They were geared towards another population of people, not specific to these hormonal things. So since 2019, I have learned even more, and I have found the fastest path to help women get unstuck. So today, in today's class, I'm going to be teaching you those 3 secrets about your thyroid and your hormones so that you can get unstuck and you can stop using Dr. Google and you can actually find what is ready and what is working. So we think that these things are the issue. We think, oh, I have fatigue and weight gain and my acne is flaring up and I'm bloated and I'm constipated, my hair's falling out and I have no sex drive and my husband and I are at odds and ends because I am snappy and irritable and cranky, and you want connection, but you don't want anybody to be around. What is actually happening? So this is the stuff that you're going to your doctor for, right? You're going to your doctor saying, I have all these symptoms, and it's not what is actually at play. What's actually at play is a nutritional deficiency, your detox capacity isn't working. You're not able to break down and metabolize the fats and the proteins that you need, which is super common with thyroid because we lack the enzymes in order to do that, which is going to lead to weight gain. Or we're struggling to break down carbohydrates. You see, all of this is all connected. The body is an ecosystem. And just because you have a few thyroid symptoms doesn't mean that it's just your thyroid. There is so much more that is happening here. And the process in the ecosystem, your body, AKA your body, begins to break down. It begins to slow down. Your body is going to push you over into that slow lane, and you're going to look back and say, wow, I don't have the energy. I don't have the stamina. I can't do what I did a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And so that's why we're all here, right? And that's what I want to teach you today in today's class, is how to bring back your ecosystem and get things back working and flowing properly. So in Western medicine, this is, you go in, you have those symptoms, and they want to give you a pill, and they're going to just say, we're going straight for your thyroid. Here's your thyroid medication. Well, guess what, you guys? You do not have a thyroid medication deficiency. There are so many other things that are imbalanced. Maybe it's stress, right? Maybe that's sodium. So when we're under stress, the minerals that are being used up are sodium and potassium. So maybe you're not consuming enough of those minerals to keep your stress underway, which is going to lead to inflammation in the body because food is going to be sitting there. That's going to lead to indigestion. That's going to lead to other mineral displacements and malabsorption. And so we have to really look at this functional way to restore the body. So I can't tell you how many doctors, or not even doctors, how many clients that I've worked with, they are working with their body out of order. It is really, really important that we learn to work with our body in the right way in order to achieve long-lasting and sustainable health. So remember how a few slides back, we talked about breaking that standard practice of care, right? Symptoms, doctor visits, testing, prescription, repeat. The issue is that practitioners, even naturopathic doctors, they want to go straight for the problem, that being the thyroid. But in order for the thyroid to have dysfunction and in order for the thyroid to be dysfunctional, other things had to happen first, right? The system, the process is broken. And so we have to go back and we have to reverse engineer the way that we're going to work with the body, because medication is not the answer. This is why you're probably taking medication and you're not feeling like yourself again. Okay. So we have to look at the bowel movements, the liver and the gallbladder. Your liver and your gallbladder have over 500 metabolic functions alone, and they are a huge part of converting T4 into T3 thyroid hormone and then sending it out into the body. So your thyroid sends about 93% of thyroid hormone to your liver. The liver then sends it to your small intestines. And in your small intestines is where it is absorbed into the bloodstream and then carried to every single cell in the body. So if you're experiencing fatty liver, gallbladder disease, other liver issues, thyroid hormone is not going to get where it needs to be. Okay. So we have to look, I spend a lot of time on those two areas alone with my clients before we even start working with the lymphatic system and the organs and the glands and ultimately reaching that cellular health. Okay. All right. Let me know in the question and answer box if this is all making sense, if you guys are tracking with me. So like I said a little bit ago, you don't have a thyroid medication deficiency. When you get a headache, you certainly don't have Advil deficiency, but when you're in pain, you want something to help you overcome the pain so that you can get back to work and you can have the energy and the focus that you need to complete your day, right? All right. So here is are we going in the right way? Yes. Okay. The framework is really simple, but like I said, it's often overlooked. So let's see if we can give you kind of that high level explanation that we were talking about. So we need to start with the bowels. This is going to give us a good indication or a good idea of what's going on and how you're breaking down and absorbing your food. You need to be having a good, healthy bowel movement 1 to 3 times a day, meaning it should be easy to pass. It should be like a banana shape. It could be smooth like that. It should be a medium to dark brown. If it's a clay colored, you're probably having gallbladder issues or you're not able to break down your fats. Okay. There shouldn't be any kind of straining. There shouldn't be any undigested foods. It should be easy to wipe. It shouldn't be that sticky poop. I know, TMI. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what you should be experiencing in the bathroom. Okay. This will also tell us if your body is letting go of excess hormones as you go throughout your cycle in the month. So even if you are perimenopause or postmenopausal, you are still having those hormonal fluctuations inside your body. And so having a good, healthy bowel movement is going to allow you to get rid of that extra estrogen, helping you to not carry the weight around those hips and thighs, getting rid of breast tenderness, also heavy cycles, cramping, those types of things. Next, we need to address the liver and the gallbladder. We need to be seeing that you don't have that clay colored bowel movement, or your bowel movement isn't floating because your liver is converting, like I said, about 93% of the thyroid hormones into a more absorbable process for your body, right? And we need to see, like, if you've been told that you have gallbladder issues or fatty liver, your liver is going to be taking care of those 500 metabolic functions, helping you to lose weight, helping you to have energy, helping you to get rid of that belly fat and the fat around those hips and thighs. Our lymphatic system is our system to help detoxify the body. So I explain it as the body sewer system. We want to see that you're sweating. We want to see that you're not sweating too much, right? We want to see that your lymphatic system is opening and moving and that you are able to get those toxins out. And this can only happen, like these things have to happen in order for us to get to that glandular and cellular health, and thus helping you to improve your overall thyroid function. All right, so now that we've set the stage for all of this, Let's dive into those 3 secrets that are keeping you stuck. So, number 1, we're going to be talking about healthy foods that is blocking thyroid function. Number 2, medication and supplementation that blocks thyroid function. And number 3, my favorite, thyroid symptom mapping. So number 3 is going to be one where you will want the workbook if you don't already have it. When this webinar is over and it's all recorded and you guys have the replay, I will send out the workbook with you or to you so that you can take a look at it when you get a chance. I will tell you that workbook was one of the most important key parts of people's progress since the last training that I did on this. Okay. So you will want, okay. What do you do if you don't sweat very much? So thank you for asking this question. I'm going to go back to this slide right here. So this was me. So I live in Arizona. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So it gets to be 120 degrees outside. And I thought I was so cool in high school because I never sweat. I was on the varsity dance team. We danced outside, all of the things. And I did not sweat. And I thought it was like the best thing ever. Well, what is happening is that detox pathway is holding on to the sewer. It's holding on to the toxins. It's holding on to the sludge. It's holding on to heavy metals, and it's causing things like parasitic activity. And so I know being women, we don't want to sweat, but ultimately having good levels, having the ability to sweat helps us to know that those detox pathways are open and flowing, and that we can get rid of the toxins that are keeping us stuck and our thyroid stuck. Hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if you guys have any more questions in regards to that. Okay, let's go back to this one. So secret number 1, healthy foods that block your thyroid. How many of you have tried diets to help with your hormones or weight loss? Probably most of us. Sweating too much can be a sign that you have too many toxins that are needing to be released. So that's kind of a complicated question because I don't have a whole lot of context. But we want to be looking at, is your body trying to get rid of toxins because you're not having bowel movements? Is it because professionally? So let me give you an example. One of my clients was a veterinarian, and she worked with a lot of chemicals and things with her clients. And so she would sweat a lot while she was working, but she was also being exposed to a lot of chemicals in that laboratory setting that she was working in when she was a vet. So there's a few things that would need to take place and be considered if you're sweating too much, Laura. Okay. Yep. Let's keep going. All right. So here are several different diets and nutrition plans that are out there. When it comes to the thyroid, we have to learn how and which plan and style of eating is going to be supportive to your body. Right? I am not here to tell you that keto, low carb, body ecology, low FODMAP, dairy-free, elimination diets, all of those things are the right thing to do. The approach that I take is whole foods, but more importantly, eating for your metabolic type. Okay, that is going to be more important than any diet out there. You guys, excuse me, I have some scratchy throat. Yes. Okay. So, gallbladder is removed. Now I'm in menopause and sweat all the time, creating an awful skin condition in problem areas. Oh, yes. So my first thing, if you guys have had your gallbladder removed, all of my clients who have had that, they are on a specific supplement that helps their body to break down the fats that they're eating. Because when you don't have a gallbladder anymore, your body is just constantly dripping that bile production into your lower GI tract, and you're not getting the benefits of those healthy fats. Inside your diet, you're not getting all of the benefits, which is very, very common, especially if you are menopausal, to be missing some of those healthy fats, because as you are in menopause, your body does require a higher level of healthy fats in order to help you regulate your menopausal hormones. All right. Okay. So keep moving on here. Understanding your metabolic type. So our metabolic type is dictated by a few different factors, such as your genetics, stress, nutrition, mineral deficiencies, nutritional supplements, pollutants, as well as inherited patterns and a predisposition towards mineral imbalances. So what that predisposition means is genetic factors. If your mom was nutritionally deficient when she was pregnant with you, you may also develop some of those habits and patterns because of what happened in the womb. So our body is speaking to us. You guys, from this chart, you can see that there are really three main areas of metabolic typing. So the first one is going to be slow oxidation. So these are our slow metabolizers. This is usually where I see women with thyroid as a slow 1 or a slow 2. Fast oxidizers, which I am naturally a fast oxidizer. Excuse me. But with thyroid imbalances, I have converted to a slow 1, telling me that my body is out of balance. And then there's also a mixed oxidation. So once you have identified your type, you can use this essential information to choose the specific food, the specific combination that is going to be the best for your body. This is, like I said, more important than any diet plan out there that you could ever use, especially in regards to those macronutrients. So please know this training, I'm speaking to a lot of people. And so I'm going to just give you some very general recommendations and what you can typically expect being on one side or another. Before I go into any of that, what I want to explain here, so in the middle is homeostasis, and this is balanced, right? When we go fast 1, fast 2, fast 3, fast 4, the larger the number, the further away from homeostasis that we get. Okay, same thing on the other side, fast 1, 2, 3, or excuse me, slow 1, 2, 3, 4. The further away that we get, the more out of balance we are. So what I have seen with some of my clients, and I actually love getting them at this point. So I currently have one client. We did some testing. She is considered a fast 4 right now, meaning if we think about it as a teeter-totter, she's completely lopsided. Okay, she has no balance, no synergy, and she is on her way to burnout, and not just burnout, but what we call double burnout. So we are working on balancing out her metabolic typing so that she can get back to that place of homeostasis. Okay. And when you have that mixed oxidation, this is where you're going to be able to have more food freedom. Okay. This means you're going to be able to eat pizza and ice cream with your family for a birthday celebration and be able to bounce back the very next day, or you're going to be able to eat it and you're not going to feel gassy and bloated and heavy and yucky. Okay. All right. So here are some things to expect, like I said, generally speaking. So slow oxidizers, they are going to require lower protein, lower fats, and a higher carb diet. Fast oxidizers, this means they need equal amounts of protein to fat and a lower amount of carbs. Mixed oxidation is going to require that relatively equal amounts of protein, carbs, and fats. So as you're building your plate, as you're consuming your food, you're going to be able to look at your plate. And again, this isn't about calorie counting or weighing and measuring and portioning out food. This is about simply looking at your plate and seeing, is my plate balanced according to my body? If yes, then great, eat it. If no, then maybe you want to add a little more protein or a little less carbs or whatever that is for your body type. Make sense? Are you guys all tracking? Hopefully we're good. So through this distinct kind of body language, that is going to be defined by your chemical makeup and your nutritional needs. This information takes all different forms. It includes your physical your physical body, your structural. It's going to take into play physiological, hormonal, behavioral characteristics, even those dietary preferences and reactions to specific food. So each bit of information is a critical clue to your, I'm going to say that again, a critical clue to your overall biochemical puzzle. That is you. All right. So, taking this all together, there are some external cues that speak volumes about the way that your body functions on that internal level. The way your system processes food and nutrients is going to be totally different. So, who wants to find out their metabolic type and what you should be eating so that you never have to diet again? Never count calories, weigh your food, measure your food, restrict food. It's learning about eating them in the right way, in the right balance for your body. The reason this works is because your metabolic typing relies on the body's innate intelligence. And as all scientists know, nothing can be invented in a laboratory that is actually going to, quote unquote, cure a degenerative disease or introduce a true healing response in the body. It's the body itself that is the true master healer and the ultimate source of wisdom and control over every authentic healing response in the body. Although metabolic typing makes use of this advanced technology, its ability to utilize simple, subtle information based off those methods that the body uses for its own innate ability to regulate itself. So, food for thought. Do you believe that your body can heal itself if it's given the right tools? So let's keep going. I would love to know my metabolic type. Yes, Marka. This is all, so metabolic typing, you guys, just a quick overview. You can figure this out on your own, okay? And it's a lot of trial and error. I've done trainings in the Hansen or in the free Facebook group on metabolic typing, and you guys can work your way through that. I have streamlined the process to help you guys figure out that a little bit more, and we do that through functional testing. Yes, we are going to need more than an hour to individually figure out what each person needs. You're absolutely right, Nikki. So we are going to be talking first and foremost about food combining. So this is one of the other instruments that I love using with my clients, especially with hypothyroidism, because it's going to help you identify how to maximize the nutrition. So in addition to knowing and understanding your metabolic type, we have to learn how to combine foods for that maximum absorption and assimilation for the body, meaning how to maximize your body's ability to get the nutrients that it needs. So many of us eat things like chicken and pineapple salsa, right? Delicious, so yummy. Who's had it? Well, sorry to be a burster of the bubble. When you have thyroid imbalances, this is not going to work very well with your body. Okay, I have some tricks so that if you do eat something like this, I can help my clients kind of work through this a little bit better. But a simple explanation for this is that chicken takes about 4 hours to digest. Well, pineapple being primarily water, and you guys, pineapple is great for you. So please don't hear me say like, don't eat pineapple. But pineapple breaks down in about an hour to 2. So when you eat them together, what happens is a fermentation process happens inside the stomach, causing gas, bloating, constipation, and that overall heaviness. These are all healthy foods and perfectly fine for someone who isn't experiencing hormonal or thyroid imbalances. Ultimately, what happens when you have thyroid issues is it blocks the function of the absorption and the nutrients being absorbed into the body. So, our body and our hormones need specific nutrients in order to create, convert, and absorb thyroid nutrients. Okay. So, let me say that one more time. We need to be able to create, right? Manufacture hormones, convert the hormones from TSH into T4 into T3. And then our body needs to be able to absorb that. So, understanding which nutrients you need allows you to find the right foods in the right combination for you and your body and your hormones to balance them, thus speeding up your metabolism and bringing your body back into balance. Right? These nutrients all play a delicate role with each other. So just supplementing with vitamin D can actually wreak havoc on your hormones. Okay, so how many of your doctors have tested your vitamin D levels and told you, hey, go get some vitamin D, you're low? Vitamin D, yep, okay, Nikki's raising her hand. Vitamin D is actually an antagonistic to your thyroid and will slow down your thyroid. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But vitamin D is a critical nutrient and it needs vitamin K with it to make sure that calcium and vitamin D are absorbable for the body. So, how do we figure this out? You guys, we test. We don't guess what's happening inside the body. We do this by a hair trace mineral analysis to figure out how your body is utilizing all of these nutrients, how fast you're burning through them, what you need more of, and how to get it all balanced out. So, my recommendation for you guys, take a quick screenshot of this page and then go do some research. Go figure out what is high in iron and tyrosine and zinc and selenium and vitamin E so that you can begin incorporating those foods into your diet. All right. So, magnesium is a huge deficiency problem that we see with thyroid. How many of you guys have some of these issues? If you don't have, if you have enough magnesium from your diet or supplementation, but your body isn't utilizing it or absorbing it, this is a very common problem. Okay, we're going to be having blood sugar imbalances. You're going to be craving sugar. You're going to be having sleep issues. You're going to be having low energy, constipation, anxiety, depression. You're going to be maybe put on blood pressure medication just because magnesium is low. All right, you guys, let's keep going. Thyroid blocking foods. So many of us know that we should probably be staying away from sugar and processed foods, right? Well, every person is a little bit different and everyone's threshold for these items are different. We need to take note that some of these can actually wreak havoc on our body and our hormones until we get the body back to a certain level of healing. So what needs to happen is we need to increase our threshold. Okay, there's a process and a system in order to be able to increase our threshold and make these things happen. But one of the things that gluten does for our body is it mimics thyroid hormones, causing confusion with our hormones. Okay, and so sometimes what we have to do in order to increase that threshold is to pull back from gluten, get the body to a certain level of healing. And then your threshold, maybe you can have it 1 day a week or 2 days a week or 3 days a week. All of that is going to be different for you. If you have celiac, then you're probably never going to be able to eat gluten, or you might be able to use some of my other tips and tricks in order to be able to eat gluten. If you guys have a birthday party or whatever, and not have lasting side effects from it. What about dairy? So dairy, with all of the added hormones and processes that disrupt our hormones, for example, when we pasteurize dairy, we actually remove necessary digestive enzymes to help us break it down. This is why back in the day, when people had, cows in their own backyard and they would make butter and milk and cheese and all of the things, they didn't have the same level of digestive issues that we do when we consume dairy products. Make sense? All right, let's talk caffeine and coffee. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody's like, I'm going to sign off. Just kidding. Okay. So the danger with caffeine is that it actually blocks thyroid medication from being absorbed in the body. So caffeine is often used to help us with our energy levels. And it can even be stuck in sneaky areas. So if we wake up and we're dragging ourselves to the coffee pot or drinking a Monster or a Dr. Pepper, even if it's an hour after you take your thyroid medication, it will block thyroid hormones from being absorbed, because even in that hour, the thyroid medication hasn't been fully absorbed. But I have another secret that I want to share with you. Caffeine can also be found in your thyroid medication. Da, 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 da. So it stimulates the GI tract and then has less time to be absorbed into your cells of your body. So you're taking thyroid medication thinking this is great. And what's actually happening is there's caffeine in it. It's speeding up your digestive tract, and then it's pushing that nutrients out before your body has had the ability to fully utilize it. So caffeine, like I said, is being utilized in many different areas. It's not that we can't have caffeine. It's about learning how to time it so that you actually get good, sustainable energy. So let me give you an example so that you guys all don't log off and hate me for this. Have your coffee. So let's say you wake up at 7 a.m., you take your medication. Normally you would eat at 8. What I would recommend is that you actually have your coffee between 9 and 10 a.m. after you've had a protein-filled breakfast, because this will actually increase your energy and benefit you from getting in that good caffeine and give you that sustainable energy to carry you throughout the day. Cool? All right, let's keep going. So the toxic load theory. You guys, when I learned about this, this was something that really was a game changer for me. So not all thyroid blockers are nutritionally based. Okay, so let's explain this toxic load theory really quickly. So homeostasis is when our body is able to quickly filter through and remove toxins on its own. It's able to be exposed to it, it's able to process it, and it gets rid of it through sweating, through bowel movements, through liver and kidney cleansing and all of those things, okay? The acute stage of stress starts when we stop losing function of those organs and systems. And that's when you begin maybe noticing a little more fatigue, some weight gain, some dull skin. Maybe you're getting some puffy eyes or wrinkles and things like that. The compensatory stage is where symptoms are getting worse. This is most likely when you're going to your doctor and you're saying, I'm dieting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm taking supplements, something's not right. Okay. Then we hit that place of cellular death. Cellular death is when your body is overloaded and you are finally diagnosed with thyroid. There may be, on average, you guys, there's 7 to 10 years before thyroid patients, people finally get diagnosed with thyroid. So in between that 7 to 10 years, you're struggling. Your body is already shutting down and in that catabolic state where it's pulling minerals from your bones, and you're starting to have dental issues, and you're starting to have hair loss, and you're starting to have all of these things start to pop up because you're already at that place of cellular death. All right, so really quickly, I want to share a story with you about my client, Sarah. Sarah is a homeschooling mom of 2 kids, and she was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. She went to all the doctors, did all the testing. Everybody told her, this is your life. And she shared a story with me about when she felt that burnout. And what had happened is she was homeschooling, she was planning all these parties. She loves engaging with people. She loves like interacting. She's super active in her church. And she planned a surprise birthday party for her husband. And at that birthday party, she just hit that block wall and was like, I can't do this anymore. And it was about an hour before the birthday party, went upstairs, took a nap, put on her clothes, and she said from that point on, she hasn't been the same. So then she, basically being told you're a lost cause, was like, she came and worked with us inside the Hansen method as a last straw, essentially. So since starting the Hansen method, and this was a while ago, she lost a total of almost 45 inches. This includes all over her body. She went from wearing a size 16 to a size 12, 16, 18 to a size 12. All I have to say is it keeps encouraging her to follow the process. She has more energy. She's losing weight. And she is getting back to, or she did get back to where she was hoping to. She's been able to take her kids sledding and has the energy and the stamina that she needs to homeschool her kids and continue with life. All right. Secret number 2 is medication and supplements that might not be good for you. So there are 4 common ways that medications is going to block thyroid hormones. So the first one is blocking T4 to T3 conversion. So T3, if you aren't familiar, is your active thyroid hormone that regulates your metabolism, your energy, your body temperature, all of that. Other medications will block your TSH production. So that's going to be the pituitary gland that is producing TSH. Number 3 is block thyroid hormone gland. Okay, so your thyroid. And number 4, blocks thyroid medication absorption. So I'm not going to go through all of these. My recommendation is just take a quick look right here and see, what are you on? Are you taking beta blockers? Are you for social anxiety? Are you taking narcotics and pain medication? Are you taking antidepressants? Because if you're doing some of these things, can be counterproductive and counterintuitive to what is going on and keep you stuck. And let me tell you, for a lot of these things, if you talk to your doctor, you may find an alternative route. This is something that I help my clients do. But this is just for general information. So the next one is blocking TSH hormone production from the brain. So this is going to be steroids. I have a story here in a little bit with Joanna. Joanna had a lot of asthma and was taking using inhalers to help with breathing. And after we were able to get her breathing balanced out and all these other things, she was able to stop using her inhaler and get off thyroid medication completely because the steroid was blocking thyroid hormone. If you're taking metformin for insulin resistance or weight loss, a lot of people use it for anti-aging type things. This could be blocking that TSH production from the brain. Number 3 is blocking thyroid hormones glands. So if you are taking any mood stabilizers for bipolar, anything like that, it's going to be blocking. Thyroid medication that blocks as well. So let's go into this. For example, if you were experiencing chronic pain and you're taking narcotics, which is then going to impact your mood. So now you have that antidepressant, which will then put you on thyroid medication to help with that. Then you end up experiencing constipation, acid reflux. So then you get on antacids or fiber or something like that. So we really have to be careful with how we're taking medication and working with someone who is skilled and understands. So these are the medications that are going to be blocking thyroid hormones. So histamine blockers, if you guys are experiencing allergies, if you're taking fiber, if you are taking estrogen to treat menopause, if you're using caffeine, all of these things are going to be impacting each other. You guys, I hope what you guys are getting from this is really going to help you to see that everything is connected. All of this is playing a bigger part in what you have, and feeding and fueling either the body positively or negatively. So what ends up happening is you guys get stuck on this hamster wheel. Let's play. Oh, I wanted to play that video. How do I do that? Okay. It's just a guy walking on a hamster wheel. It's like the definition of insanity, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So this is where you guys need to be really honest with yourself and ask yourself, do you want to get off the hamster wheel and start doing something a little bit different? Hold on, we went the wrong way. Okay, so let's talk about supplementation. I see this all the time. You guys, I had one client who started working with me. She was taking 28 different medications and over 30 different kinds of supplementation. She was a registered nurse and desperate to feel better. This was during COVID. And right away, we were able to talk about some of the things that she was taking and doing and how they were counterproductive and counteractive to what she was doing. And right away, we started to simplify her supplements, and have her talk to her doctor about some of the medications and see if she can get off of those. But we shifted her to digestive enzymes and probiotics. And like I said, we had her consult with her doctor to talk about alternative medications or some items she could get off right away. Within 30 days, she went down to about 16 medications and 5 supplements. And you know what? Her energy improved, her hair loss decreased, and her weight on the scale started to move in a positive direction. Sometimes less is more. We targeted her body and her genetics and her metabolism on that cellular level. Saved her money, saved her time, and she got better results. So who's in, right? Number 3, you guys, this is my bread and butter. I love mapping thyroid symptoms. And like I said, this is if you guys are just jumping on, or maybe you came late. When I send out the replay, you are going to want to check out the workbook, because there's going to be some valuable information in that workbook on symptom mapping. Okay. So your symptoms, I don't care what anybody says, I will go to my grave because I believe this wholeheartedly. Your symptoms are your number one asset, and your doctor is often dismissing them. Oh, you're just a mom. Oh, this is totally normal. Little things, you guys, little things like knee pain and shoulder pain and neck pain. And even, okay, I'm going to kind of go off on a little tangent. It's all going to make sense. My husband's friend came over and he's been having some heart issues. Okay. And he was telling us this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, let me see your ear. Come here. He said, okay. So he showed me his ear. I said, okay, now let me see the other one. He showed me his ear. And I said, yep, this right here on your ear tells me that you are more prone to heart conditions. And he said, what? I said, yeah. And then I began giving him some recommendations and some advice. So you guys, even little tiny things like creases on your ear can lead us to information about your body. This is where Chinese medicine comes into play. All right, let me give you guys some more information. Every symptom, everything that is happening in your body is like constructing your own puzzle piece. Okay? Or your own big picture puzzle. So refer to your workbook. If you don't have it, take a quick little screenshot, maybe follow along. We'll go through some of the major things. So let's talk about that 10 to 9 to 11 time period. Okay. How many of you guys struggle to fall asleep? Or maybe you don't want to go to bed, or you end up laying in bed for a long period of time and have insomnia, or you just stay awake doing dishes and laundry because you know you're going to go fall into bed and you're not going to be able to fall asleep. Okay, Laura's raising her hand. This is your triple warmer. This is your thyroid, you guys. This is thyroid issues. This is the nutrients that you need for your thyroid. And it goes beyond just taking iodine, right? It's going to be your vitamin C, your iron, your tyrosine. Let me give you, I wasn't actually planning on talking about this, but I'm going to give you guys, I'm just so fired up. You guys are awesome in the chats and in the question and answer. And so I want to share this with you. And hopefully I do a good job because I'm a visual person. So if I don't see it, then it's not going to stick in my head. But hopefully you guys can follow along, and I'll try to explain this in an easy way. So your body needs sodium and potassium to create digestive enzymes for your stomach. Your stomach then breaks down those things. And we need a protein called tryptophan, right? I'm sure you guys may have heard about it when you eat turkey for Thanksgiving and then you get tired. There's a reason for that. So our body will break down that tryptophan. That tryptophan then moves into serotonin, which is going to help us feel happy and excited and have a zest for life and motivated and all of those things. And then that's going to convert into melatonin. So if we look at those sleep disruptions that are happening between the 9 to 11 time period, we have to go all the way back to the stomach acid. Okay. And we have to look at what part of that process is broken. Is it the conversion? Is it the stomach acid? Is it a mineral and nutrition deficiency? Okay. Then moving forward, and I'm just pulling out the ones that I see over and over again with the ladies that I work with inside the Hansen method. So between the 1 and 3 a.m., if you're waking up to go pee, this is a huge issue for women with menopause or going through menopause. Okay. This leads us to look at the liver and the dysfunction that is happening with the liver, meaning, are you breaking down your fats? Are you struggling to lose weight? Are you experiencing gas and bloating or that weight around those hips and thighs? What about that crash that happens in the afternoon between 1 and 3? Okay, that's going to be your small intestines. So is that telling us that you are not breaking down your lunch properly and that food is just sitting there in that digestive tract and you're like, oh, like I'm so sluggish because your body is pulling the energy to break down that food. And that's why you have that afternoon crash. So we have to look at these things in a very critical way so that you can better understand what you need to do in order to maintain that good energy. You guys, where I'm at right now, it is 3 o'clock, and hopefully you guys can tell that I am energized. You guys, I am energized. It's 3:30. I started this at 2:30. If I was experiencing that afternoon crash because my body wasn't able to break down the nutrients, I would be talking like this, and this would be a very boring class. No, I am pumped up because I have the energy, because I know how to target that nutrition and give my body the fuel that it needs in order to continue my working day and not need to go take a nap. Okay. So like I said, those are just some of the highlights. Those are just some of the areas that I see a lot of my women struggle with. Let me know if this makes sense. In your question and answer box, just let me know if any of this resonates with you. Maybe give me some time frames that you are struggling, or maybe if you had an aha moment, type it in the chat, because all of this is going to give us clues as to how to improve your overall quality of life. All right. So I want to remind you that your body works in a specific order, and we must work with the body in accordance to that human clock, that human biological clock, and with the body in that restoration pyramid, just like I do with my clients. So this is Tina. Tina is a homeschooling mom of 5. She was breastfeeding a 1-year-old when she decided to take charge of her hormonal health. She was a busy mom. She needed something simple and sustainable to fit into her day while she's taking care of 5 kids, right? Her husband owns a business, and so his hours work or his hours vary day to day. And she invested working with us. And within 1 month, you guys can see that overall, she had a significant reduction in overall inflammation. The scale didn't move much, but the way that she felt about herself is completely different. Okay. Nikki says good stuff. Okay. Um, oh, okay. Interesting. My husband is wide awake from 4 a.m. and he has super low oxygen levels and lung issues. Interesting to match it up with the chart. Yeah, you guys, I'm telling you, some of this stuff is just so cool when you start putting puzzle pieces together and you're like, oh, that's why my body does this. And then we can start reverse engineering the way that we work with the body and really find what's going to be most beneficial to you. So physical symptoms, just because I'm a little geeky this way, and I want to give you guys just some ideas. So if you have pain or tightness in that right shoulder blade area, I want you to look towards your liver. What do you need to do to support that liver area? If you have knee pain, you might be experiencing gallbladder issues. You may have had a gallbladder removed. It may not just be that you have extra weight that your doctor's telling you that's why you have knee issues. I have a quick story. I have a renter, and they were moving in, and they were getting ready to they just recovered from knee surgery. And I was talking to him and I said, oh, how's your gallbladder? And he was like, my gallbladder. And then I explained, and he was like, how did you know that? I think it was like a year, maybe a year and a half before he had started having knee issues, he had his gallbladder removed. And da 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 da, right? So there's all of these things that give us more information, right? Hair loss at the tops of your head is going to be hormonal imbalances with your testosterone, your progesterone, your cortisol levels. So we want to be matching those things up as well. Okay, let's look at those digestive issues. Yep, total knee replacement and no gallbladder. Yeah. Yes, you guys. Undigested food in your stool is low stomach acid, right? Low hydrochloric acid. Floating stool is going to be a malabsorption or poor absorption of nutrients. Liver issues or an inability, maybe you're eating too much dairy or an inability to break down dairy. Foul smelling gas or stool is going to lead us to gut infections like SIBO, which stands for small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, or something more along the lines of candida. All right. So the process is simple when you know what you need to do. It's about balancing your minerals and working with your body in the right order that is specific to you. We do this by functional testing and listening to your body and how your body is responding. So, quick story again, I must love homeschooling moms, or maybe they're the moms that are the most tired. I don't know. But Joanna is a homeschooling mom of 4, and these words are like super tiny, so I set them off over to the side, or I copied and pasted them. And here's what Joanna said. So Joanna, a little bit of context about her. Like I said earlier, she was one that was having a lot of breathing issues and taking steroids for her asthma and things like that. So she said, actually, one more thing I wanted to add. She is also a CNA and has worked in the medical industry for many, many years. She said, I never intended to lose weight by the Hansen method. When I first spoke to Shannon, she asked me about losing weight and if that was my goal. I remember telling her it wasn't, but it would be an awesome bonus if it did. A few weeks ago, I saw myself from you guys, hold on. I saw a picture of myself from about a year ago. I nearly cried, y'all. The transformation that has taken place since is astronomical to me. At my heaviest in 2020, I was 156 pounds. I'm 5'1". Today, I weigh 138. I've lost 5 inches in my waist and I'm able to fit into smaller clothes. Aside from gaining a lot of hope back and being able to identify many issues that were affecting me, this change is huge for me. I've even been able to get off my thyroid medication. I didn't know how bad I felt until I realized how good I am feeling. So grateful for Shannon and Chris and all the encouragement that I received from all of the other women inside the Hansen method. All right. So if you're looking for additional help and support, I would schedule a thyroid breakthrough call, you guys. And I don't think I can pop this in the chat. Maybe take a screenshot of this. And when I send out all of the information, I will make sure to include that link for you guys. Actually, let me sit here for a second. Okay. So self-care isn't a selfish decision. And this was something that I had to learn for myself. So how would you feel if your thyroid was functioning the way that you would want it to? I want you to just ask yourself, drop a sentence below in the question and answer. Would you have more energy? Would you feel more confident in your clothes? Would you feel comfortable initiating special time with your husband or your partner? Would you be able to play with your kids or your grandkids? What would that be for you? How would you feel if these things were working out? So here's Tara and April. Just kidding. This is Christy and Rachel. So Christy said, despite the facts of feeling the signs of detoxing, I have double the energy and I'm still releasing weight, and she's also sleeping better at night. Rachel said, and Rachel had celiac, as well as other thyroid issues, and she was dairy free. She was already eating super clean and just could not lose weight. She says, I tried everything to get my weight down, and either it worked until it stopped, or it didn't work at all, or it sort of helped, but came with other symptoms. Shannon's method fixed me. I've lost over 30 pounds in 10-ish weeks. Don't tell Shannon, but I've even cheated a little and it's still working. I have energy. I fit in my clothes. I'm off coffee. My liver doesn't hurt. I'm less bloated. And she wants to lose another 40 pounds, but it all seems sustainable to her. So how do you know if it is different than what you've tried in the past? I know you guys are busy. I know that I'm busy, right? I'm super busy. I'm a mom of 4 kids. I run a business. I volunteer at church. I'm actually in the process of organizing a girls' camp for over 200 youth girls between the ages of 11 and 18. That is happening in less than 5 months. And I am responsible for food, activities, transportation, cabin, everything, right? So in addition to all of that, I need something that's going to be simple and sustainable for me. And that's why what I do and what I teach other people is the same thing so that they can follow that. So my backstory, like I said, I'm a mom. I serve in the church. I own a business. Most of the time, 2 things that fail for people is, number 1, they have all these thyroid blockers that you don't know what to do and how to apply that information, or 2, you don't have the time. And my program solves both of those. So would it be appropriate with you guys if I shared a little bit more information about how I work with people and how I help them? Type in the chat and just let me know if that would be all right with you guys. Give me like a thumbs up or something too is totally fine, because I know the chat isn't working. So I'm going to assume that you guys are all good. So taking care of yourself and your body isn't selfish. Okay, cool. It is one of the least selfish things that you can do for yourself and others around you, because when you feel good, you do good. When we're in pain or we're uncomfortable, we begin to withdraw and we begin to snap at other people. We begin to become hermits, and then we want to just eat more food because we lack connection. and on and on and on. So now that you know why this is such an uphill battle when it comes to your goals of weight loss and more energy, but I want you to have a solution. So right now you really have two paths. Each one has separate futures. So within 3 to 4 months from now, the first path is that you take this information and all of its nuances, which has taken me years to create and refine, and attempt to apply this into your busy life and make it work and make it, and it may take you 6 months to a year to get those things going and make it possible to help you get all this figured out. Or the second path is an assessment and a personalized roadmap to support you within the next 6 months, where I work with you, coaching you, supporting you each step of the way to help you adapt to your body, right? So inside the Hansen method and all of the nuances that come along the way to help your body burn through the fat, gain the energy, and give you that personalized plan to help you balance out your hormones in a simple and sustainable way. So the first path is going to lead you fumbling through the depths of each step by yourself, and it's going to be slow, it's going to be long, it's going to contain a lot of trial and error. We're going to be stuck on that hamster wheel. But if you know the whys behind everything and the framework, things are going to change, right? The second path is utilizing the coaching and the support for feedback and my wisdom to guide you in this, which is going to accelerate those results. And that can happen in as quickly as 3 to 4 weeks, because you're using the shortcuts of what is working right now for you and not wasting time on this. So if you have done the trial and error for years, it's not like you don't have enough information, right? It's because you don't know what, how, and when to apply these strategies into your lifestyle and what works specifically for you and your circumstances. Wouldn't your success be much faster if you were able to get that area of expertise? Most of my clients spend about an hour to 2 hours a week learning this information and implementing it so that their body is able to just start working. So do you see that booking a call? Well, actually, you guys, I can't drop it in the chat. I'll go back and you guys can screenshot it and then type it in. And you guys can book a call, right? If you are interested in booking a call, that call is really designed to just make sure that it's a good fit. It's a good investment. We're going to be able to go over everything that is specific to you and make sure that this proven method that I have been working on for over 3 years and refining will actually benefit you. So here's what we do. We do functional testing that will help you identify those missing areas. So we're going to help you with that functional testing right away. We're not going to have to guess. We're going to know what that metabolic typing is, and we are going to be able to make those changes for you. We're going to figure out what foods are the right ones for you, which foods, not even to like cut out of your diet, but to reduce. We're going to find ways to help you maximize the absorption and the nutrients that you need. But remember, health is not linear and it's going to take time. We are going to work together for 6 months, and we will provide you with that testing at the beginning and give you the answers that you deserve with a customized and clear path for your body genetically and metabolically on that cellular level that is going to allow your body to fully hit that restore button or reset button. So number one, we're going to be diving in depth on food and nutrition that is working for your body specifically. Okay. We're going to be learning how to pair foods together. We're going to be learning what foods to take out, which foods to focus on, and what your body needs because of how fast you're burning through this. Hey, Monica. So Monica just asked, can you do just a testing if you can't afford the full program? Monica, I'm going to be super honest with you. Yes, we can absolutely just do the testing, but I will tell you that just testing alone it doesn't yield the greatest results. If you want to book a call, I'll go over all of that with you. And we will find the right plan or the right path for you, for your budget. Okay. I'll just put it that way. We have several different options. Some of them include just more of a self-study. So you're not getting all of the coaching, but at least you're learning the information and you're able to work through that. Or we have payment options and things like that. So I will be as creative as possible. And you guys, I'm not pushy. Like, I really want this to be the best fit for you and your family and for your budget. And so I will be as creative as possible and help you in every way that is possible. So anyways, so first we're going to go over food, which is our clean energy blueprint. You guys, that's really what it is so within that 30 days, I want you to have more energy by at least 50%, because that extra energy is going to keep you on that sustainable path moving forward. Okay. All right. So the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to be mapping your symptoms, right? Mapping your symptoms is going to help you better understand where to put your time, your energy, your focus, how to utilize that information with your knee pain, your shoulder pain, your headaches, the cramping, your lines on your ears, all of those things, to better know how to support your body and what you need to focus on. The third part that we're going to be focusing on is removing those thyroid blockers. So any medication, any supplementation, all of these things that could be impacting your body, we're going to be working with that in order to remove those. Okay. And then the third part is we're going to be making sure that those detox pathways are open. So if you're sweating too much or you're not sweating enough, we're going to get that all balanced out so that your body is able to move forward. So, but first, you guys, we need to book a call. I don't take everyone. I want to make sure that our personalities fit, that you're going to be coachable, that I'm going to be able to listen to you, that our communication is working well, that we have a connection. If you are on this master class, if you book a call within the next 5 days, I will be paying an additional $500 for your testing. I'm going to provide you with 2 testing, one at the beginning of your program and one at the end of your program. So this really is a $500 savings. And just because you stayed to the end, that's going to show that you are committed. Okay. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired and not putting your own oxygen mask on first. So if you book within the next 5 days, I will cover that $500 for you and that testing. That's going to be just that fast action. And these blockers, you guys, this information is super powerful because people feel a difference within 30 days instead of 30 years. And within 3 to 4 months, people feel like a whole new person. Their thyroid symptoms, I've been tracking this for about 3 years. Their thyroid symptoms reduce by 80% within that time frame. So it's really up to you to decide if this is worth your time or not to book a call. There's no right or wrong. Okay. I just want you to know that I'm here to help you. So we'll open this up for some question and answers. And all of that. So while we do some question and answers, I'm going to go back to this. Where did it go? The slide that has, you guys, it's lost. Just kidding. Okay, no, it's right here. Can you guys see that? All right. With the link. So let's go over, like I said, type in your questions, anything about the program, anything about what we talked about, any clarity that you guys need. I have about 5 minutes before I have to run to a coaching call. So, all right. Asking about financing. Okay. So Monica and for everybody else, you guys, there are ways. So the question is, do you take HSA or flex spending? The answer is yes. So if you have access to flex spending, HSA accounts, all of that you can use to pay for the program. Sometimes reimbursements will be available to you guys through like your insurance. I don't deal with insurance. um, just because insurance is a lovely thing. But you guys can oftentimes get reimbursement from insurance. Does it matter if I have hypothyroidism and not on medication? No, so you don't have to be on medication to work with me. It doesn't matter if you are on, either one, we're going to help you. Full thyroidectomy. So if you've had a partial or a full thyroidectomy, it's not going to also matter. What we're doing is we're working with your body and helping you to get the minerals and the nutrients that you need so that your body can balance itself out. So that if you are on medication, it's going to make that medication more absorbable. I don't even think that's a word, you guys. I think I just use that because when I say other fancier words, people are like, huh, what? I don't even know what that means. So really it's about getting the thyroid hormones that are absorbable to your body and will work well with your body. What if I need a higher level of support? Yeah, so like I said before, there's a lot of different levels of support that we provide. We provide group coaching. I provide one-on-one VIP coaching. I have some clients where they only need like some testing with some minor check-ins and support. And we offer things like that. So I want to, like I said, one of the best ways is to just get a good idea of where you're at, what your starting point is, so that we can better identify what level of support you need. And I will be totally honest with you. There's times where I had a call this last week and the lady's like, I need, one-on-one coaching. I'm going to need all of the help. And I said, I don't think that's true. I think this group coaching, which is going to be more affordable for you, is going to be the best place for you to start. And I said, if we need to upgrade, we can do that. So that is always an option as well. We can start at a smaller package and upgrade if needed and go from there. Any last questions, you guys? Got another minute or two. All right. I don't see anything coming through yet. Oh, okay. I'm going to share one thing with you guys since you guys are on and you might have questions that you're typing. So one of the questions that I get as far as like a money back guarantee or, what kind of support that I provide for people. So I don't do a money back guarantee, but what I do promise is that within 6 months, you're going to have at least a 20-pound weight loss. If you have it, if you only have, 10 pounds to lose, then the 10 pounds up to 20 pounds, right? And a 70% reduction in thyroid symptoms. Now, I do require a few things from you guys to know that you are putting in the time, the energy, and the effort. With that is number one, I ask you to come to 2 coaching calls per month. I provide 8 currently. So out of the 8, coming to 2 coaching calls per month, and just making sure that you're doing those regular check-ins and that you're filling out your journals. So I have an app that I use to work with my clients and support them. And so by communicating through that, there's a private message capability, journaling. I'm able to see things that are happening in your life and able to provide you with those feedback with those journals. So I do ask that you fill out those journals so that I can give you more targeted, specific information. And if you don't experience at least a 70% reduction in your thyroid symptoms within that 6 months, I will continue working with you for an entire year at no additional cost to you. Like I said, I just ask that you come to at least 2 coaching calls, you fill out your journals, and you disclose any supplements and medications that you are taking. And yeah, so I'm really result driven, and Oh, I guess the other thing that I need you to do is you will have a weekly symptom assessment that you will fill out on Fridays or over the weekend. You'll have till like Monday to fill that out. And then I'm able to review those and we're able to talk about how to strategize, how to get you the best results. Okay. I feel like there's one other thing that I was going to share with you guys. Um, I am only opening about 8 slots for the rest of this month. So if you are interested in working with us for the month of February, please let me know. Book a call. Like I said, within the next 5 days, if you book that call, you're going to get the testing paid for, which is going to save you about $500. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. We are about time, and I will see you guys on the next. And hopefully we get a chat. All right, have a good day.